Beautiful party people, how we doing out there? It is Trego with Trego the DJ, and we are back with some unsolicited wedding advice because no one asked for it. I am here in my Olaf sweatshirt, looking great, feeling cold. I'm cold in the house, cold in the house, cold. It's 50 degrees here in Arizona, and so I thought I'd bundle up. And I know that there's someone in New York right now saying, cold, you don't know cold, man. Hey, it's all relative. You don't know hot until you have one of our summers out here in Arizona. So I'm so sorry that we're rocking some Olaf gear right now. But we've got a real quick video for you. These are 2 questions that you need to ask your venue before signing the contract. And this is specifically from a DJ's perspective. So let me give you a little bit of a breakdown real quick. I used to teach a DJ Academy class, and in that class, I told all the DJs out of every single piece of equipment, it is linked by power and sound. So power and sound are the 2 things that directly or indirectly your venue can kind of mess up for you. So you need to address those things. Let's get into it, and let's start with power. Power is kind of the trust fall element that DJs need from a venue, right? Unless you're getting married like cloth and flame in the middle of the woods, like, you know, kind of doing your thing, you've already got generators planned. At any sort of venue, you're going to say, hey, where do I plug in? Where's power? So you're only as good as your power supply. So I would just ask your venue straight up. Just be like, hey, do you guys have any power problems? Your venue's going to know. And a lot of times, I mean, I'm going to give venues the benefit of the doubt that during these tours, they might be saying stuff like that. But what if they don't? And what if it affects your big day? Because there's been plenty of times where party, something trips, and then it's entirely black. There's no music coming out of the speakers. And it kind of, everybody looks at the DJ like, what did you do? And then you're like running around doing your thing and whatnot. So, you know, any great DJ is going to have a backup for that situation. But I have one cocktail speaker that is 120 decibels, so it can kick pretty hard. And it will keep the party alive. But why even risk that, right? You want a seamless transition. You don't want any energy sort of dispersed throughout the night. You just want like cool, calm, and collected. So just ask your venue, hey, do you guys have power issues? And then just kind of see what they say, you know? So the other thing is sound. Sound is so important to DJs. And obviously we don't have to have it screaming loud. It doesn't have to be, you know, a super loud concert or anything like that, but it's gotta be over talking decibels. So we'll get into that in a little bit, but basically at the end of the day, the one thing that can really screw you up is sound ordinances. So are the neighbors cool? Are they going to shut down the party early? Do the cops get called? Is there a specific time that the music has to be off? All those types of things are really important to address because that can definitely shut down a wedding. I can think of 2 amazing weddings that I had fall of 2020 with Carson and Alessandro, and then Austin and Brittany, and both were fantastic couples in the middle of COVID. They're making it happen. We're being responsible, the whole 9 yards. And due to one thing or another, the cops get called and, you know, the neighbors are upset, and we have to bring it down to below speaking levels. So speaking levels is about at 60 decibels. We had to bring it down to like 45 decibels. I could hear the people on the dance floor over my music being like, I wonder why he turned it down. You don't want that. They had a fantastic wedding. Let me preface this. I'm giving love to you guys. But it would have raged even harder if they had known that, because maybe they would have had the option to move inside. Or another thing that can kind of get around that is silent disco headsets. So if you don't know about this, you know, music is traditionally broadcast through the speakers. But with silent disco, there's a transmitter that transmits the sound to wireless headphones, and there's no audible music. So it's all straight to the headphones. Everybody's having a great time. Literally, it's just a bunch of people on the dance floor talking, singing, having a good time, but they're not going to get mad at the guy who's in charge of the music. So that is something that you would want to consider with your DJ, consider with your production company, whoever you're talking to, saying like, hey, is this an option? And likewise with a venue, you know, maybe they say, oh yeah, we do have a hard out at 10, like we have to stop music because the noise ordinance and the neighbors are going to get, you know, sort of angry and whatnot. And you're like, well, this is the perfect aesthetic. This is right close to our house, like all that type of stuff like that. If that is a sort of a pinch point for you guys, ask, hey, if we did silent disco, until 11, 12, 1 in the morning, whatever it may be. Would that be cool with you? Can we keep the party alive as long as there's no music going on? And see what they say. I mean, that is kind of a cool atmosphere when we kind of turn it down. It's kind of a speakeasy vibe. People are raging, having a great time. And so it could be something that you take from a negative to a positive at a venue. So make sure that you talk to your venue and then you talk to your DJ about that afterwards. A lot of talking on that one. And it's kind of a basic one. I mean, you're like, duh, I hope that they would tell me about the power problems. I hope that you would tell me about the sound ordinances and stuff like that. But what if you didn't ask? What if you signed that contract? What if it affected your big day? And then you said, Trego, I thought I was going to get some great unsolicited wedding advice. Well, here we are. You know the drill. This is just my 2 cents. And I'm Trego, out.